Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people and children of all ages, it's Wednesday, so you know what time it is. It's the Bold Prediction Sports Media Podcast. He's Mr. KC from the 813. I'm that dude with the beard from the 816. Had to throw it in that little tidbit. Mr. KC, what's going on, my man?
Oh, enjoying this fabulous NFL season. A lot of craziness last week, a lot of almost craziness, some almost upsets, and a couple little upsets for the season. So it's kind of nice.
Oh yeah, definitely. We seen a lot of wins that were long overdue. We seen a lot of losses that were long overdue. And I'm just so glad in my heart of hearts that this Brock Purdy situation is now under a microscope. Everything that I've been saying is going to come to light. And I know you a Purdy guy. So what happened with Purdy this weekend? Let me ask you that real quick before we dive in,
Man, it was so wild to see that. Old Brock Purdy finally showed a little chink in his armor. As soon as you give him just a little smidge of support, all of a sudden he said, "Maybe I'll be a believer," and they immediately collapsed. It was wild to see.
man. It is. It's very wild to see, but like I said, I'm back to square one to where I've where I've been at on Brock Purdy. Like I said, it's it's Trent Dilfer esque at the best. Like I said, little streaks are not that streak won't be remembered. Like it's done and over with. The legend and hype and nostalgia behind Brock Purdy's officially gone, and I love it because you got a guy who's on the most loaded team almost in the NFL, and people was just acting like he's about to win MVP. Like he Brock Purdy, oh, he's moving the train. He's doing it. No, Chris McCaffrey's driving that boat, and him going down proved it. So there's that.
I'm not gonna lie. Last week, I was contemplating putting $20 on a little dark horse Purdy MVP. Like, you can crown that guy. I am that guy that was. I'm starting to buy in. This might be an MVP candidate. You can't give it to LeBron James and Michael Jordan every year, or
Mm.
Pat Mahomes. You gotta spread it out. Magically someone's more valuable. So I thought this maybe Brock Purdy might be that candidate. Is making a lot of noise in that NFC. Not so much the case I see.
No, and the Eagles have finally shown what we've been saying all year. Like we've noticed, been not the same Eagles team, and to lose to Zach Wilson and the Jets just goes to show you that they really don't have the heart that people think that they had. Like I said, I mean, it's easy in the NFC, man. Like I said, it's like when Michael Jordan was going to the finals out the East. Like there's hardly any people to stop him. Like, and so it's easy to ride coattails and I say, oh, they're the best. They're the greatest team. They're the greatest team. I'm like, yes, they're beating other professional teams, but are said other professional teams up to par to what they got going on? Is just not the case. I'm on record saying this, and I'll say it one more time. If the Eagles or the Niners was in the AFC, they would be a bottom level team, and that's just keeping it straight up a buck. I'm sorry.
Mm. I mean, they'd be fighters, because a lot of the AFC big dogs are kind of taking a step back. If you look at the Bills, they shown that they almost lost to the Giants. When I was talking about those almost upsets, that was that
I'm
had a
upset because
lot
they
of
didn't
potential to be
lose,
upset. That
and
was
I
a
and I
close
am
game.
upset that you
They
called the
are.
Bills a big dog because they've been
Well,
chihuahuas.
it's
They're not big dogs around here.
Well, maybe not in this particular room, but you got to admit, some people have been calling that Wawa Rottweiler for a long time. We've gone on record, we've had our videos, we've posted out. Neither one of us are huge Josh Allen supporters. I'm a step ahead of Mr. Beard here, but not by much. And he's really kind of just one of those prove it right kind of things. And then if you want to go to another powerhouse, we can talk about the Bengals bangling. They're
But
out
see,
there doing exactly what you would expect out of a Bengals team.
that's what I'm saying. So are they a powerhouse or are they just the Bengals? You see what I'm saying? I've been saying it for
Right.
years. For the
Right.
last 2 years, they're just the Bengals. Like I don't understand how you want these historically, not you personally, but people. They want these historically bad teams to just be great overnight, and it's just not the case. The Bengals are okay now. They went from terrible to okay. They're
Well,
scrappy.
they went from terrible to pretty good to not so great.
Well, you said
Like,
pretty. I don't even think they was pretty good,
I mean, they
man.
went to a
When
Super
you
Bowl.
catch, yeah, but a lot of
You,
teams catch fire and go to the Super Bowl sometimes. We've
a
seen
lot
it
of teams.
happen.
I mean, it
We've seen it
happens.
happen.
I
Yeah.
mean,
So
it
I
does.
mean,
But you gotta. I'll tip my hat off at any team that's making the Super
well,
Bowl.
okay. I'll tip. They'll get
Especially,
a hat tip off that, maybe.
especially you had to go through Pat Mahomes to get there. Like you gotta tip your hat to a man that's made it. Yeah, there's not a lot of men that can say that.
It's always
It's,
the Pat Mahomes buff. That's what I'm saying. We got to
it's
keep
the
giving these
test.
players buffs because they need them. It's not just blatant. You see what I'm saying? It's not just
I
blatant.
do.
The
I
only
see.
person who's blatant for it is Pat. That's what it seems like. There
Well,
ain't another
let's
AFC quarterback that I can think of that's been as dominant besides Lamar Jackson, off and on.
speaking of dominance, let's talk about our favorite Kansas City Chiefs for just a moment. Some people may have already seen the video I posted earlier today, but big news in Chiefs Kingdom. Me, Cole Hardman is back. Potentially, Frank Clark is in the building to get a physical. That's it's not a guarantee, but that says a lot.
And to be honest, both these moves are puzzling to me. Frank Clark, I maybe okay, but McCole Hardman, are we really back to this? Uh, are we really back to this? Are they thinking our receivers are that terrible? Are we
Yes.
losing games? Am
No.
I missing something? Like,
You
are we
you don't
losing?
have to you don't have to lose games to have room for improvement. And the Chiefs are
But you
clearly
don't get
showing.
McCole Hardman. Where?
Well,
What?
Watson did go down and is out for the season. So, in my mind, he's kind of that replacement for a
They said
guy
he's
that
all the way out for the season. I knew he was out for a while, but I didn't know it was season.
I thought it
I
was
didn't s-
season. I could be wrong. I could be
Yeah, I
wrong,
would
but
say I don't think so because he's still. Yeah, I don't think it's the season. It might be a few
I
weeks.
thought it was season. I thought for I thought I was like a solid 73% sure it was for the season. But I mean, either way, he's still out for a little bit at the very minimum. So it gives you how many wide receivers do you think Pat Mahomes really trusts on this team? Because personally, I think it's only two guys, and it's really like one and a half. I think he kind of trusts MVS, and I think he trusts his Rice, and everybody else is wide receivers, number sixes, fives.
I would disagree with that. I don't even think he trusts MVS. I think Watson probably had the most trust, and then after
Mm,
that, we see Sky Moore still getting most of the look. So obviously, there's a trust there. Um, this whole wide receiver situation is just puzzling to me because you got guys who are playmakers, and it's just like they just. I don't know if they just want to play them or like what are they seeing with the disconnect between practice and then when it comes game time is what I'm trying to figure out because MVS has done absolutely nothing. I mean, he drew a big penalty a couple of games ago, but like other than that, he's just there. Like, and if you just want a guy who's out there running routes, you can put anybody out there. I'd rather see Justin Ross. I'd rather see Kadarius Tony more consistently or Rasheed Rice more consistently at this
I
point
knew
because
at this point, it makes you wonder with Nicole Hardman coming back if your boy Ross is even still on the squad.
what's there to wonder? He's not leaving the squad. That's crazy.
I
You're the
mean,
only person down on Justin Ross in all of America.
no,
So
I'm the is yeah, I'm the
you're
only Chiefs
literally the only
fan
one.
that doesn't get overexcited about 6 targets and 3 catches through 6 games. Like my problem
You
is,
you say that like most of them targets didn't come on early on, and like they're not playing him. Like don't try to
well,
shortcut every time.
it's been
He
streaky.
he's made bigger plays than any other wide receivers on our team right now. Tell me a
Who?
bigger play. Jer-
Justin
Are you?
Ross?
Yes. Are you kidding me? Every catch he's made was a big one, and it's not for 25 yards. Between him and
It's
Watson,
not.
they're the
He's
only.
only got like 30 yards on the season.
That's okay. Now I know you don't know what you're talking about because, like I said, the one catch he had a couple weeks ago was 25 yards. You can't tell me he only had
That
5 yards before that.
probably so.
It's not
He's
probably. You're
I
wrong, definitely.
mean,
There's no probably to it.
if you
It's
would like to take a moment to look up his stats, we
okay.
could take a
Let me tell you then.
take a little second to
I got
you
you
know
covered.
get a chance to pull up the actual numbers because I'm pretty sure it's like 6 targets.
You said 30 yards.
I think it's like 35. I ain't gonna shortchange him. Maybe 36, but it's 3 for
So
36.
are you saying it's 30 or not? Because that's what we were talking about.
I
I don't
moved it
want
up
to
6
backtrack
yards.
inside. Okay, well
36.
we're
Give me
done talking about it then because you agreed to my point already. Then ain't no point for me to look it up
what
because I
do
said
you
it's more than 30. You agree with me now?
yeah, it's 6 more than 30. You acting like that is
Okay, well even
the
if it's one more than 30, I told you it's more than 30.
you're right. You're right.
You're right.
You're
I'm like
absolutely
either
right.
I don't mean like what are we doing here?
You're
Semantics?
right. I shortchanged him to 6 yards. I
Yeah.
forgot that 6 yards in 6 games is the clear difference between a dominant player and a guy that's going to get cut for McCole Hardman.
I don't see how he's gonna get cut if one dude is on IR and then they just brought him back. I don't know. Maybe I'm just miscounting roster spots.
Maybe, and I could be just getting hopeful that they cut Ross so I can do a whole lot of I told
Hey
you so.
man, and you look
But
and when
mm,
it don't happen, I'm not even gonna say I told you so. I'm just keep it going.
well, you
Just
know
keep
me,
it going
I'll eat my own crow. I mean,
because
there's nothing more I would love that like some flip of a switch. He finished the season with 50 catches
I mean
for 500 yards. That
because
would be
because we're
amazing.
because we're talking greasy about Justin Ross. How
It
many
just
yards
ain't
does
happening.
McCole Hardman have?
Oof, probably similar, maybe even less. He was a healthy bench the last game, so it's questionable.
Matter of fact, that's
But
what we need
who
to look
else?
up. We talking about bench cut for a guy who what? Let me cut for a guy who we didn't even want to keep. Like I don't like I said
Well, he
this whole
did it.
move doesn't make sense. Backtracking. He has
There's a
six
lot of
yards on this. He has 6 total yards on the season. So I'm done
six.
talking about McCole
Man, that's
Hardman.
how many I was off by Justin Ross with. That's
Right.
crazy.
Like
Yeah,
at least Ross is making plays more than
I
McCole
mean
Hardman.
that
I'll
is
stand by
more. That
that.
is definitely. That's like he's
One
Justin Ross
catch
got
for
like
6 yards.
Justin Ross is like triple that, and that's I mean, hats off to Justin Ross for doing that.
Man, gotta do it.
But this is
Gotta do
also
it.
a reminder that the Chiefs have now given up 2 draft picks for Mecole Hardman and none for Justin Ross. So there's that too.
Well, yeah, Ross is undrafted, and I mean, it just makes sense to stick with the better deal. He's making more money than McCole Hardman too. So I mean, what does that
He
say?
probably is actually.
So what are we talking?
He
Like I said, I
really.
just
Uh,
anyway, and like
Pretty sure you're
I don't
right.
I don't know why. Like I said, give him more time. Justin Ross not going anywhere. Like it's a dude who didn't play at all, and then this is his first like legit year in the NFL. And you think they're
Man,
gonna get rid of him when they're just working? I mean, like that the notion's insane to me. That's all. Like that's
you
just
know,
crazy to think.
you know how
People,
mad I'd be if I was a veteran on my second, maybe even you can call it third contract now. I guess it's second. He's still under the same deal. And actually, no, he's making more money than Justin Ross. I think he got 4 million last year.
isn't Ross getting? I thought his deal was more than that. Maybe not. I don't know.
I think Ross was like 1.5. He got a decent bag for being an undrafted guy, but nothing crazy.
Gotcha. And shout out to you, Ray, man. We had a good weekend, a good time. I hope that you had a blessed week too, my man.
Yeah, shout out Ray. Speaking of Ray, let's hop into our picks. Let's see what this action looking like. Oh, Thursday night, we've got a prime time, typical Amazon
Bezos.
Prime toilet bowl matchup.
Third bowl
Jaguars,
Bezos. Third bowl with the
Jaguars
Jags?
at
What?
Saints. This ain't a game.
Versus the Saints? What do you mean it's not a game?
We're just
This
walking
game.
in the park.
I'm going with the Jags.
I know you're going with the Jags.
But
Everyone is.
I'm gonna
This,
leave it
this
at
is
that.
a this is a clear, easy. Look, the Jags ain't got to travel far. They're not in. They're not in England no more. Like this is just it's too easy. Saints have been too wishy washy, showing they can't do nothing even with Alvin Kamara coming back. Like it's just Jags.
Yeah, things need time to cycle, man. But I totally get it. As of right now, the Jags are the only pick.
Mm, true.
Yes, sir.
All right, next game starts Sunday. We're gonna go Falcons at Buccaneers.
Falcons and Buccaneers. Ritter's sliding in the direction that he shouldn't be going. The Buccaneers are just the Buccaneers again. I think I'm gonna still go with the Birds in this one. I think Atlanta finds some way to win this game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was your preseason prediction, and I mean the Falcons have been a pretty strong team. It's not a terrible pick. Personally, I'm gonna go Buccaneers over Falcons. I
Look way
That Tampa Bay team is feisty. They try to win games. Atlanta is no joke this year, though. They kind of we kind of did hit the almost hit the nail on the head with them. Not as good as we need them to be, but pretty solid.
right. Not as bad as what most people thought. More importantly,
Yeah,
that's the
I'd say
thing.
we were closer to being right than wrong with them so far.
Oh yeah, so
Still,
far it looks good. Jury's still out, but we'll see.
still time to go. And then we have the Raiders at the Chicago Bears.
Raiders versus Bears, and by God, I'm gonna pick the Raiders once again. And I never thought that I would pick them again in this season, but I've got to do it. They're going to win this game. I think Justin Fields is hurt right now. Um, it just don't seem to still be a lot going on in Chicago. They just can't really get the wheels churning the way it should be churning. But in this game, it's Raider Day. Crosby time.
I think I need to buy you a little Raider jersey or a flag or some kind of. We need to get you some memorabilia. We need to get you a Raiders Marcus Allen helmet just sitting in the background, just chilling. I don't think anyone's picked the Raiders more than Beard this season. I really want to pick the Browns or the Bears, excuse me. I truly do, but I think Beard's probably right. Unfortunately, let's go with the Raiders. But just no Raiders fans. He's been supporting y'all all season. He's been Raiders strong. Uh,
I wouldn't say all that. I picked you a few times.
I think y'all be
But you
four and
got
two
Jimmy G.
according to him.
You're losing games that you should win. But
Right.
there's that.
Hey, there is a lot of truth to that. There is. Now we got another feisty little matchup here. We have the Cleveland Browns traveling to the Indianapolis Colts to face
They got to play Uncle
oh
Rico.
Uncle Rico. Anthony Richardson's out for the season.
Yeah, it's a wrap on these Colts now. They're
Yeah.
losing. It's over. Like I said, Gardner Minshew, like I said, he's good through 8 games. We're pretty much about to hit his eclipse moment. Uh, I think the light goes out on Indianapolis. They might be in line to try to get Marvin Harrison Jr. next year.
Mm,
Put him down where his daddy went.
I could see that happening. That could be an interesting combination with a healthy
It
Anthony
would be the
Richardson.
bomb. It would really
Uh,
be the bomb.
It
I
would
would,
help him out.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you have to look at the Browns defense. The Browns defense is no punk, so I'd hate to be Indianapolis playing the Browns right now. So let's go with Browns for me as well.
And I can't believe I'm
Next on the
picking the
list,
Ravens.
little NFC East matchup:
Ooh,
Commanders at Giants.
and let's talk about it. I'm going with the New York Giants. The running game looks spectacular. I think as long as they can build on that and try to keep that thing rolling, they can beat the Commanders. Washington, they should have been a lot better than what I thought they were going to be. They're just kind of too hit and miss, and I think this is a miss week for them.
Yeah, I'm going with the Giants. The Washington Commanders offensive line is terrible. Terrible. It's unbelievably terrible.
Hmm.
It's not fair for Eric Bieniemy to run that offense with such a bad offensive line. There's not much you're going to do when you're losing in the trenches. So give me the
Right.
Giants. Get them back to winning, back to a healthy kind of season. It's kind of Tyrod Taylor almost gave them that upset. I
He
kind of
did.
believe that if Vanilla Vic was there, maybe they win that game. Could
Maybe
have
they
happened.
win. That's what I'm thinking. But Tyrod's not a bad dude to have coming off the bench. He did look pretty feasible. As more time goes along, I think he'll look even better.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have a backup in the league, uh, Tyrod Taylor's probably a top five, top 10 backup, if we're going to be
Yeah,
honest.
no, for sure. Like I said, besides Gardner Minshew and who else? I can't even think of another one who's really just coming off the bench. He's like, yeah, he can win this game for us. I guess Dobbs from
Yeah,
the
Dobbs
Cardinals.
for
He's been
Arizona.
good.
Yeah.
I'm saying, yeah,
Hey,
I guess Dobbs. I don't know. Let me think about it because good night.
he'll at least give you a chance, if you think
Right.
about it.
He's
Yeah.
probably got a job now. Kyler Murray done. That experiment's over.
Whew, makes you wonder where he'll go. Ooh, speaking of some
MLB, hopefully. You know.
speaking of some MLB quality teams, we have the Lions versus the Ravens.
And this game should be the game that exposes the Lions to everything that I think that they are, which is not really a contender. Benefited from a light schedule. The toughest game y'all had so far was against Kansas City, which you won. I give kudos to you. You beat a 75% Chiefs team. That was a Super Bowl. I still think that the Ravens are probably going to mollywop these guys. Honestly, yeah, I just for some reason in my soul, I just think Lamar gets off like probably real good against these Lions. Like I can kind of see it happening.
Yeah, and I really want to join you with there. Pretty sure preseason I picked the Ravens, and that almost makes me want to just stick with my pick and roll with it. But I'm not going to deny what the Lions have been doing. This is a Jared Goff led team, and he's kind of proven he's at least in the same conversation as a Lamar Jackson. You kind of have a even. He's in the ballpark.
He's in the Kirk Cousins ballpark. He's up in there.
No,
What are you
he's way
talking
ahead
about?
of Kirk Cousins. So let's not insult
But
Jared Goff.
is he?
He is.
Is he
He's
though?
probably the bridge in between.
I just don't
Uh,
think so. You know, Kirk got better
he's
stats.
right in between Lamar Jackson and Kirk Thuggins. Like I'd put
I
him
don't
right in
think so.
between them.
I
I
think
I
he's
definitely
just
would.
getting closer to Kirk Cousins. Like the only why Jared Goff, you could probably say that is because, like I said, he was on the greatest defensive team in NFL history almost when they went to the Super Bowl. So I mean, after that, I mean, it's been nothing but nothing.
No, he had a pretty solid season last year. Last season he put up big numbers. And
Was it
I
bigger than
mean,
my boy Killer Kirk? No, no
I'd
year
have to
Jared
double
Goff's
check.
been. You have to
It,
double.
it might be.
Are you kidding me?
No, yeah, I'm not kidding you. I'd have to double check that. It was pretty close. Yeah,
It's not
we're
close.
probably in the same ballpark there.
This is so far apart that I'm so surprised to hear you say that.
I'm surprised that you disbelieve Golf being that close. He might have had better numbers than Kirk Thuggins last year. It was close.
I'm just almost sure that he didn't because Kirk Cousins almost had 5,000 yards passing. Justin Jefferson was going crazy. Are you forgetting about all that?
Jared Goff was. I know he was well in the fours. I can't remember his number off the top of my head, but he was
I'm
well
gonna
into
have
the
to
four
look him up.
thousands.
I'm about to look up a young Jared, see where he ended up.
Yeah, but this is a
Okay,
feisty game.
he was at yeah, he was at 44. So he was 300 behind Kirk Cousins. Like I said, he's
It was
almost there.
close.
He's chasing. That's what he's chasing it.
Chase him.
Yeah,
And
he's
he
almost there.
doesn't have the best wide receiver in the league on his team. Now, say
Right.
Brown's a
But I
bad
mean,
man. Mr.
yeah,
Brown, bad man. Now, I don't want to take nothing away from him, but he's not JJ. Like
hmm.
he's not Jefferson. Let's be honest.
No, no, for sure. That goes without saying.
The
But I mean,
300 yard difference might also be the difference in Jefferson and St. Brown stats of the season too. If that tells
maybe
you,
right.
that might have been just that difference. But both still quality players and good
Yeah,
teams and
because I'm
whatnot.
looking at Kirk Cousins. He's been rounding off 4,000 yard seasons for almost 10 years. Dude.
Yep.
He's good, bro. He's really good.
Until you hit prime time or playoffs or games that matter,
You
then
can
all
say
of a
that
sudden,
about a lot of guys who lose primetime games and games that matter, though. We
I
can't just
mean,
put that stigma on Kirk Thuggins because Jared Goff done lost some primetime ones. He done won a few, but he done
he's
lost
won
a
a
few
few.
too.
He's got some memorable ones. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at that Chiefs.
And that's the
Uh,
only why we remember it because Patrick Mahomes is in it. He made it special.
well, I mean, it was the high score made that game
Patrick
special.
made it special, man.
It was, it was goddamn
If
51,
they was
50
if they was
point
playing the
game or
Browns
something
and
like that. It was
that
nuts.
game went 51-53, nobody would even talk about it. The reason why they talk about it is because Patrick Mahomes is on the other side of the ball.
Well, I just know that
He-
Pat Mahomes has beat Kirk Thuggins and he's never beat Jared Goff. So there's a little bit of that
Oh, yawn. Good night.
benchmark.
I
Shout
keep
out
forgetting
Lions
that
fans.
you be buffing these guys that beat Pat. That makes them all of a sudden elite
Hey,
quarterbacks.
hey,
Oh
I
Lord,
can't
bring
I
Jared
can't
Goff, bring
consider
him the
you.
MVP. Bring him the
Uh,
MVP
I,
trophy.
I can't call you a good quarterback if you can't go toe to toe with Mahomes. Like
Bring
it's not happening.
somebody bring this man the MVP. Somebody call Philip Rivers
Hey,
back
I
for
mean
last year
Jared Goff.
beating Pat.
Hey, that might be a little.
Didn't Philip Rivers beat Pat last year with the Colts? Who was the Colts quarterback or Matt Ryan? Somebody call Matt Ryan up. Give this man a job. He's
Hey,
elite. He beat
that's
Patrick Mahomes. Give this man a job. What are we doing, folks? Why ain't he playing? He beat Patrick.
hey.
That's all you need, right?
It would help. I mean, do you want a quarterback that can't beat Patrick Mahomes? Or you want a
I
quarterback that
I
can?
want a I want a quarterback that's better than Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, you
That's
can't
what
find
I would want.
that. That's not out there. That ain't out there. All right, let's. Speaking of quarterbacks not better than Pat Mahomes, we have the Buffalo Bills as the New Orleans or New England Patriots. I don't know where I got New Orleans from.
Yeah, the Bills are gonna win. It's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
yeah. I mean, the only person that's going to make Allen look good is Mac Pro Bowl Jones.
Yeah, but I don't even think he's gonna play. I'm not sure. We have to see, man. It's a lot of stuff going on in England. I don't know. Belichick just decided to hit the brakes on the season, and maybe he's trying to get Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't know, but they need
Well,
a
we do
playmaker.
know if he does play, it's only going to be for 3 quarters, so it doesn't matter.
Those are
Uh,
facts.
mm,
Can't argue with that. But then again, they're playing the Bills. They may win. So there's
yeah,
that. I'm pretty sure
and
Pro Bowl Mac Jones beat uh, Josh Allen beating Patrick Mahomes last year. So I mean, if anything, shouldn't Mac Jones should be elite if he beat the dude who could beat Patrick Mahomes? If by that logic, right?
no, that's just you get into football parody. I don't like to. I have trouble with football parody. You can't start doing the triangle where this team beat that team, and then that team beat this team, so that team can beat that team. That's when
Well, that
you
was
start
you
trying
used
to
that
connect
comparison a
dots
few
that
times.
don't.
before we got to this point. So when I'm trying to connect them, it don't work. We can't do it when I want to do it.
Freezing
'Cause
up
you,
on me for a second.
I was gonna say, because you was connecting the light brights earlier with other situations. So when I came to connect the light brights, so we just wiping mine off the board. We can't do it, huh? Just
Yeah,
mine
yeah.
don't work. Oh, okay. I just had to learn.
We gotta take the yeah. I try to do the one-to-one comparisons. I don't do one to
I don't
yeah.
know because
You
we
started
talking about
having to do
two
this.
other people, and then okay, all right, all right. Well, go Bills.
Yeah, but shout out Mac Jones. You're gonna be a great backup quarterback one of these days, and probably won't be long.
And shout out to you, Josh Allen. Same sentiments, because I don't see why you keep starting.
No, he'll be a starter for at least 5 more years.
He'll be out the league in 5 years.
No, he'll be a backup somewhere. He can definitely ride that Blake Bortles backup train for a long time.
Mm-mm.
He's done that. He's perfect quarterback for that. Little has been syndrome in him. All right. Well, next, speaking of has beens,
Never been.
we have the Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks.
Man, who was the has been in this situation? The Cards, because they
Cards.
never been either.
They kind of never were,
I
but
was they were never been either.
true.
Uh,
Yeah, that was kind of a little clickbaity. I'm sorry. Sorry, Seattle fans and Cardinals fans.
and y'all know where I'm going with this pick. I don't even think I got to talk about it. I always go with the better bird. So who's gonna pick a fucking Cardinal when you can get a Seahawk?
Do you even know what a fucking Seahawk is?
Oh
Goddamn.
yeah, Geno
Sweet Lord.
Smith, comeback player of the year. He didn't write
Mm,
back. I know what a Seahawk is. I sure do.
mm. I know it. They
Hmm.
look a lot like a chicken.
Hmm.
Little sea chickens, little birds, little.
Hey man, you ain't never seen the Chicken Hawks. You ain't never seen what was it, Looney Tunes? What are we talking
Mm.
about?
But you have
I
a
bet it
point
still kick a Cardinals ass.
because yeah, that ain't no lie. And I'm pretty sure for at least the second week in a row, I'm picking the Seahawks.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Come on with it. Come on
The
with
bare minimum. I need to check the tape. It might be a longer streak than that now, but
it. Good.
the bare
At
minimum, it's
least the
been
bare
back to
minimum
back.
last two for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So shout out Seahawks fans, all 12 of you.
Because y'all should have won last week. Because I
Should
don't
have
know what.
won.
Yeah, because Gino was moving the ball so effortlessly. I don't know what's going on. But Pete Carroll, I trust you enough to tighten that thing up.
Well,
So
I
there's
trust
that.
them to mess my picks up. So shout out the Cardinals for this upset. You heard it here first.
Oh, good night.
No,
Um,
there's no way that's the official pick, by the way.
I
It's
was,
just
I
yeah.
was say good night. He done changed it already. He can't
Yeah,
even.
not that one. Not that one. That's not the one I'm choosing.
Okay, good night. I was gonna say good night. It's over. There it is, folks.
Speaking of some upset potentials, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Los Angeles Rams.
So, which way is this upset leaning?
Because
The
the
Rams
Steelers
beating
ups
Pittsburgh?
no, the Steelers beating the Rams.
Are you crazy?
Are
The,
we
the Steelers are gonna steal this game. Are we serious?
oh, we are going the upset. I had a feeling.
Who's upset? You're thinking the Rams are back?
Yeah,
Because that's
yeah.
the only way you can call it an upset.
I think we need to check MGM and see what the odds are on this game because I'm pretty sure it's saying heavy favorites for the Rams. I'm not
Hey,
sure. I haven't looked. I have
hey,
not looked this week
how
yet.
many teams was heavy favorite last week that lost?
No, probably too
I
many.
can tell. I'm about to say because I can tell you three off the rip.
Right. Because you're the ones that gave me a little subparish week, a little 9-5, a little action that ain't very favorable. I like to be above 10, so
Man,
um, it hurts my soul to be one off. So shout out the Jets.
no. See, yeah, the spread +3 for the Steelers side. They both at -110. The money line saying the Steelers too.
That is kind of that was a little closer. I would have
Yeah.
had the Rams at like a little,
We
four
gotta
and a half
remember the
favorite.
Steelers are 3-2, baby. Rams are 3-3. They already got that extra L hanging on them.
That's okay. I don't think the
Hmm.
Steelers are keeping pace with the Rams.
You don't think, man? Please, you didn't think the Steelers would make the will finish over 500 last year. So your
I
Steeler
did not.
faith is minimum. So I don't
Did
I don't
not.
take none of that to the bank.
I did not.
Right.
In that Tomlin SOB of a coach.
You gotta
Prove
get
me
it done.
wrong yet again.
That's why he stayed top 5. I mean, keep
Man,
telling you.
it's hard to argue. Everyone's like fire him, and I can understand because you can only go 9 and
No, that
8
ain't so many times.
so
Yeah.
many times. Like eventually, you got to move on from that.
But we gotta think
But
about it. 2 years ago, he had him in the playoffs. Big Ben last year. So you know what I'm saying? We can't really argue with him.
but he's one of those I'll make the playoff coaches. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
But
I
he
made
went
it.
9-8 with a rookie though. You see what I'm
True.
saying? That's impressive. If it's not Patrick Mahomes, tell me any other rookie that really well. There's a few. You got to really pick them out. But Kenny Pickett last year had a rookie season as good as almost anybody else's that you could think
I
of.
was gonna say I could start naming some.
No,
Like
I'm saying there's a few people that had really good rookie seasons, but look at the situation they in. I think if Kenny Pickett was down there in the Chargers, he'd have had a better rookie season than Justin Herbert did.
ooh,
You got to look at the
it'd have
talent
been
around him.
it'd probably be very similar.
You see what
I
I'm
do
saying, or
believe,
close
yeah,
to you.
close. Yeah, it'd be in the
Yeah,
same ballpark.
this is the
But
talent differential. That's what I'm saying. To go 9-8 when you didn't have arguably no wide receivers and your main running back was hurt, dude,
mm,
that's impressive.
yeah,
That's impressive.
yeah, because I could see him really being in that kind of Herbert conversation of second tier type quarterbacks that are great quarterbacks. Real high quality, and he's fringed that. He shows flashes of being a good quarterback. I don't think Kenny Pickett is a problem for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not sure if he's the quarterback that will win you a Super Bowl, but I believe you got to answer a lot of other questions before you can answer that one.
Right.
All right. Let's talk about a little hometown favorite, a little bust out the broom for a little sweeping action here. I'm pretty sure you might be able to tell the game coming up. It is the Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs.
And like you said, let's get the broom prepared because the AFC West is swept. It's in the design. It's the design of the season. We know we got 6 wins guaranteed because we're in the AFC West. We got a stranglehold on it. It's Brock Lesnar first run through the UFC. It's Michael George St. Pierre. It's anybody. Just Conor McGregor first rib. It's Floyd Mayweather through his prime. This thing is over. Nothing
Mm,
else to say. All the accolades. Go Chiefs. Chiefs by what the old meme used to say, Chiefs by 30.
mm, mm. And it very well could happen. Look, the Chiefs win this game, and the AFC West is pretty much locked up before November. You can almost
Just about.
call it you can almost call it done for the AFC West in
Because well,
November.
we got the Chargers this week and then the Broncos again next week.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, wrap this thing up, man.
So you start talking about a gap, especially if you have something like Chargers back-to-back losses this week and next week. I'm not sure who the opponent is next week, but I mean they didn't do it against the Cowboys, so I
Thank
just
you.
don't see the Chargers having enough to really
Beat us.
beat us or a whole lot of other teams. I mean, it's wild to see.
Well, yeah. Remember they took that terrible spill around this time last year, and
Hmm.
they was able to rally, but a lot of teams took those terrible spills. So hopefully, the spill is deep. That's all I can say is that it's tremendous. I only want them to make the playoffs. So hopefully this will continue a long line of losing for the Chargers.
Right. That would be very, very nice. Next on the list, we have a nice little dumpster fire game. Packers versus Broncos.
mm And the fire is raging. It's boiled over in Denver. And if you're picking the Denver Broncos to beat the Packers this week, you're just delusional. And personally, to you,
What?
Mr. Casey, if you're going to pick the Broncos to beat the Packers, you're definitely delusional. Let's not even,
Dude,
I would hope that your sanity is on a good level today. Who do you have?
the Broncos. I'm sticking with my preseason pick. This was actually the first win I had predicted for the Packers or for the Broncos. Look, I need this for my Jordan Love take to be to be proven factual. If Jordan Love loses to Russell Wilson, he proves he's trash. These Packers are not that great. This is in Denver. I need the Broncos to win this game. Look, you're not going to get back into it, but I've really seen it preseason that the Packers were going to lose this game, and I'm sticking to my preseason pick. Well, this would be supposed to be the Broncos' first win. They could be up to two. Broncos fans, you could be up one extra if you win this game. Prove me right. Or prove me wrong.
Wow. just, just simply wow. Just wow. I just most time I be ready for everything. But Lord, folks, this man, Mr. KC, I don't know what to do. I don't there ain't even nothing to say. Maybe who's next, man? I just oh my
We
god.
actually have a good game next, a high quality game. Back to good football and not so bold
Yeah,
takes.
get my mind off this. Yeah, where we go? Good night.
I had trouble getting through that segment, by the way. Uh, we have the Dolphins at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Now this is a game that I can relish in, that I can enjoy because I know the Dolphins are going to lose.
Mm,
I'm going with the Eagles. Yeah, you can do all that if you want to. This is a more feasible and actually a more accurate take. You talking about the Broncos got one win on the season, folks. One win on the season, and they're about. Lord, I
the-
said I wasn't going to do this. The Eagles are about to beat the brakes off the Dolphins.
I mean, it
Miami
could.
still don't have it. It's still Tua throwing the ball. All you got to do is cut off them screens and pay attention. Like, I mean, everybody seems like the Dolphin players just don't be paying attention. But then again, they played a list of bums. They really ain't beat nobody credible yet. I'll wait and see what happens. If they beat the Eagles, then I'll give Miami some flowers.
Mm. Well, Dolphins fans, it's not a surprise. You know your boy from the 813 is fins up all the way. Look, this is a banger of a game, and this is no guaranteed win for the Dolphins. We've seen the Dolphins struggle against quality opponents, but completely, absolutely blow out teams like the Denver Broncos by 70. It was, or by 50, it was 70-20. So now, obviously, the Eagles are not the Dolphins, or the Eagles are not the Broncos. The Finns are not going to steamroll this team. But in the same instance, you're talking about two very comparable quarterbacks and Tua and Hertz. And
Comparable.
honestly, comparable. They're
Okay,
comparable.
let me use your. Oh, I'm glad you said it. Let me use your light bright from earlier. Jalen Hurts been to the Super Bowl. Let me plug that in. That ain't
Jalen
even.
Hurts been to the
There's
Super Bowl.
that's not even the same level. Then
Well,
that's good night. Good night.
that's because I need a
Good
healthy
night.
Tua.
Right, we ain't even seen the Tua play finish a season yet. So good night. Are we jumping ahead? Are we Brock Purdy in this man? I know you a fan, but what are we doing here?
I believe Tua, when healthy, is a quality quarterback. Just like Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. He's in that borderline elite, you know, 5 to 10 range. And I think if you're going to crown Hurts, you got to crown a healthy Tua. Now,
No, you don't,
the
because we've
very
never seen it.
moment, the very moment he gets hurt, you got to throw in the towel, leave it alone. But that's why you can't hire him as a quarterback. But if he's healthy, he took karate. Everyone's forgetting about
Yeah, the jujitsu training,
the
learning
jiu. I
how to
try to
fall
warn
down.
people. I try to warn people. He learned to tuck and roll, Grandma. He learned the tuck and roll maneuver, and through the first 6 weeks, it's working.
For your sake, I hope that this pans out, because if not, I'm gonna drag you like I drug you last year on these Dolphins. And I mean, I thought I took you to the river with these Dolphins last year, but this time I see we got to go to the lake. We got to get in something a little deeper. I got to call Jason Voorhees so he
Mm.
can snatch he can snatch your Dolphin takes all the way back down to the bottom of Crystal Lake. Cause good night, Jess, get out of here.
They're on a
These
bye week
Jets.
this week,
No,
Steve.
right. I'm about to say
It's a
they ain't
bye
even
week,
jet time
Steve.
yet
They ain't even playing this week. You know how they can't lose this week because they ain't playing. But
because I
shout out
ain't
the
playing.
Jets. You all right? Like
Yes, sir. Yeah,
that
we
was a
do like
big
that.
win. Nice little upset. Can't get mad at them for that.
Yeah, they was upset. Cause what I tell you when Zach Wilson beat the Bills the first game? I said they can still make the playoffs. And what are they doing? They're still in games and winning games. So there's that.
Only Maine called us.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You got to call Voorhees. Let them drag these Dolphins onto the bottom of Crystal Lake. Like, what are we talking about?
You're dreaming,
These
dreaming.
bums out of here. You're dreaming. You've been dreaming. Like I said, historically back. It's just going to be another example. Uh, let's go. Another example.
All
Bad
right,
teams need to overcome their badness for at least 5 years straight to even be considered viable. We had to do it.
right. Let's talk about let's talk about the Monday night game. Last game on the schedule. We have the 49ers at Vikings.
And this is going to be a win for the Vikings. It's going to be a
Is
win
it
that they
really?
need. Yeah, this is the upset because it's going to make you mad. Probably Frank too.
It's
Wait,
definitely going to make Frank mad if you're right.
Brock Purdy has been exposed, and not even like it was anything to expose. Like I said, any kind of adversity, anytime when you don't have the Avengers around you, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like when you're out there on that island, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna build you a softball head Wilson and make a boat and get the hell up out of there, or are you gonna just sit there and look crazy? And so far, if we seen Brock Purdy on an island again, last week he looked absolutely flabbergasted. He didn't know what to do. He was late with throws. When you don't have your super squad, you look just like your draft position, Mister Irrelevant.
Mm, there's some facts there. There is some facts. I mean, it's hard to say. He's had a strong first 12, but it's not like he was
Lighten it up.
blowing any. Yeah,
That's
the
what I'm
first
saying.
game,
Thank you.
the very
I,
first game.
like we talked about, he had one 300-yard game, and that wasn't even the first one. You see what I'm saying?
There
Like
wasn't a first game.
it was the third one. His third
Mm,
one. It was against the Buccaneers. Was it second time? Or was it, yeah, something like that. But he's been, and like I said, I'm not just trying to hate. I just, you know me, I don't like when people get accolades they don't deserve. A dude,
right,
he's been playing like a backup quarterback since he started. He's getting 200 something odd yards a game. He's dinking and dunking, and his playmakers is making plays. Like, let's not sit here and exalt this man like he's out here slinging this thing. He's out here doing what Pat be doing, or even Lamar. Like
right.
he's not putting the game is not on his shoulders to win. It's on everybody else's. The only thing about Brock Purdy is just on you not to lose, and he couldn't
Right.
even do that.
Yeah, because they really have shown anyone but Trey Lance can step in there and look like a quality quarterback. So
Yeah, at this yeah.
at this point, yeah, like it's wild to see. I'm still gonna go with the 49ers, but I mean there is some upset potential here. You really need to look. I would almost need to double check the entry list before Monday night and placing a bet. Like I just need to make sure that Brock Purdy has as
Has
much
all his
talent
safety
around him.
nets. Yeah,
Like,
has his safety nets. Because
yeah,
when it came down to Kittle and what's the other boy name? Ayuk, or who's the other receiver they got? Um, I can't even remember. I think it is. Ain't it Brandon Ayuk or something like that?
yeah, Ayuka
That's what I'm saying. They disappeared. Debo went down, they
and
disappeared.
Kittle
Kittle,
and
no, Kittle,
CMC.
yeah, Kittle was still playing. That's what I'm saying. Him and Kittle disappeared, nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I think
But
CMC had left the game too. I'm not sure. I can't
you said who?
remember right. CMC, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, that was what I was about to say next. Yeah, I'm saying then he went down later in the game and it was really over. Like good night. And it ain't like they was moving the rock before that. But I'm just it just goes to show you when you play any good team or you get any kind of adversity on these boys, it's just like I said last year. When they played us, the 49 they always try to say they're the best team in the league. The 49ers don't strike fear in nobody's heart. And I really believe that because they're too soft of a team. Like I know we're a finesse team, but they're just absolutely soft. Every time we play the Niners, we blow them out,
Yeah,
and it's
we're and
not
we're
even close.
and we're not even like a bully team or nothing.
We're not. We're by far the juggernaut of the NFL. We're the
Right,
hardest team to beat, but we don't just stomp people in the throat. You see what I'm
right.
saying? But every time we see San Fran, they're on our boot heel like a cigarette butt. They're probably the most beatable team for us besides Denver. And I say that with the utmost confidence.
Oh, I don't know. The Raiders are
Well,
pretty
yeah,
close
I
second.
mean, yeah, yeah, but you remember the Raiders snuck in that one win. I mean,
Right.
Denver ain't beat us at all. San Fran ain't beat us at all. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's the same thing like how you saying with Jared Goff and Pat. They ain't beat us at all. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing.
Oh, now you want to use that Pat Mahomes bench
I
test.
told
That Pat
like
Mahomes
right.
bench test
That's what
coming
you
in real
said.
handy
That's
all of a
what you
sudden
said.
because it
Remember?
works,
You
don't it?
said
It
plug
works.
it in. Plug it in.
There's 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 some truth to it
No,
because
I
you
mean,
know there's
because
some
I just
truth to
at
it.
this
If
point
you
I just know
can't
all
get
you
over
got to
that
do is throw
hump,
Pat name around, and the weight that come with it just make your point right because it's just throwing them in it.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of weight to that conversation. You know, he is that trump card. Look, if you can't do that, then what's the point of having you? You know, like
Yeah.
you got to at least. I'm not saying you got to do it every time, but you got to make it a possibility. You know, like just because you think you can doesn't mean you actually can't. You know, that's the bench point
That's
for
it.
me.
Yeah. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm not just trying to sound like a Niner hater because I always say that they kind of the Chiefs of the NFC. I always say that. I'm on record saying it. But that's when they had Jimmy G.
Right.
Like I said on the Brock Purdy. Hey man,
Mm,
like I said, I'll just have to say I've seen Jimmy G in adversity. And the first time we seen Brock Purdy get a taste, second time actually, he get a taste. Both times he got a taste, it was L's.
true. That's very true.
Like I said, it's easy to steamroll these bums. It's easy to steamroll these bums. But dude, like I said, it's hard to be the team that came to play. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how his roadmap goes, especially since they have already given up on Trey Lance and didn't even keep him around.
Yeah.
Potentially try it. You know.
It's just like what we talked about. I said when they figure out they ain't gonna pan out with him, I don't know what are they gonna do?
Well, they're going to trade 3 first-round picks to
Oh,
move
and
up
get Caleb
10
Williams.
spots. Yeah, typical 49ers move. And then Caleb Williams, his very first play,
they gonna have
tears
to
his
trade. They gonna
ACL
have to
and
trade.
Achilles or
They gonna
something.
have to trade Debo too or IU. They gonna need to give
Uh,
up a weapon too.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give some little Kittle
I'd give
action or
up
something.
Kittle. Yeah, I said I'd give
Yeah,
up
I'd
Kittle
give up Kittle
honestly.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame you because you probably get decent return for him,
Right.
and
He's probably only got 3 good years left in him. And see, I know people like George Kittle, but he ain't never been that tight end. It's like, oh, like he sparked a team. Like I don't know. Like Jeremy Shockey was a great tight end. Like, Jimmy
right.
Graham, when the Saints was rolling, Jimmy Graham was a baller. Like
He's
Aaron,
very. He reminds me of Jimmy Graham a bit. Like if you look at his career, like a couple little
kinda,
hot seasons,
yeah,
and
but I
then
mean, yeah, well, Jimmy Graham was on fucking fire, dude.
yeah,
For a while though, for a long stretch. Like, remember they tried to play him like a wide receiver, very
he
first
wanted
tight
to. He
end.
was holding out. He was holding
Man,
out. He said, "You know what? Ain't no tight end, I'm a wide receiver."
man, at
And the
this
NFL
point,
said, "No,
man,
you a tight end. You gonna get paid like a tight end." And
man.
there's a 35% gap in between what a quality tight end makes and what a quality wide receiver makes. So I don't
Man.
blame him.
But no, yeah, I'm just saying. I think about them kind of guys. Even Greg Olson. Like, I'm like, dude, I would take almost any of them dudes before George Kittle. And I'm not just saying it's like being biased. I'm just looking at the body of work and how they play. I'm like, dude, these dudes are fucking hogs, dude. Not only, I mean, superior pass blocking and all of them do, but you can guarantee at least 1,200 yards a season almost receiving out of these dudes, if not
Right.
very close. So solid foundation, solid people to fall on, especially when you need them. Especially my boy Greg Olson. He was a cushion for years down in Carolina, as you know. They wouldn't even won games without that dude. So shout out to him.
Yeah, for sure. Well, folks, we appreciate you tuning into this week's 7 action. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, Rumble, and of course YouTube, where we've always been. Uh, we're excited
And Twitter
in Twitter. Yeah, make sure you check out.
or X.
Yeah, X marks the spot. You know, a little DMX action or something.
Right. Come find this treasure. X marks the spot.
Right, and if you want to sponsor the podcast, the email address is right here at the bottom, and then you'll see the Twitter handle there somewhere along too. Make sure you check us out on all those possibilities, and make sure you tune in next week for that 9:30 Wednesday night action, where your comment can be featured live too.
And it will be featured live and we'll talk about it and you. And thank y'all for being here this Wednesday. I'm sorry that y'all had to see Mr. KC pick Denver. Hopefully it'll never happen again after this week's debacle. Hopefully he'll see the light and he'll continue to the path that we know and love about him. Always picking the Broncos to lose.
It
So,
says the
ladies and
man that's gone 6-0 on the Raiders. Here we go.
what do you
Uh,
mean?
I'm just saying they win
The
every week.
Raiders have
All of a
netted me
sudden.
more wins than the Broncos have netted you, sir.
I think I'm 1-2. I think
No, you didn't pick them to beat the Bears,
no, it was
and they only got the one win. Player, you see
no.
what
I
I'm
think I
saying?
did get the. I'm pretty sure I did get the Broncos. Yeah,
No,
we
no,
we'll
no.
check the tape.
I know it. The only person who got it right was Ray.
I don't
I know
know.
it. Yeah, he was the only one who picked them.
No, I'm pretty sure
I
you and
guarantee.
Ray.
Oh,
You got to
gentlemen's
back you.
I got a
Uh,
gentleman two on that. Two
two
Arizona team,
Arizonas.
two Arizonas
Sheesh.
on
All
that.
right, let's
Gentleman
do it.
two. Yes,
Let's do
sir.
it. I'm so confident in it. Let's do it. Taking
Yeah,
my
that's
one.
right where I like them. You got to get them where you like them, for they overconfident and you're sure about it. But when you know, it makes it easier.
And if people want to know how Arizona is still in business, because that's how many bets I've lost.
It ain't that many folks. Arizona's just a great beverage, but
It's
Mr.
close.
Casey has contributed to their stock rise.
Yeah, like they ain't charging $1.25 for a reason. They're
I'm,
doing good. I promise you.
I'm trying to tell you. Oh God. Good night, folks. That's hilarious. We'll see y'all next week. Oh goodness. That's hilarious.
Yeah.